Hey, how's it going? When I was younger, when I first started getting into pickup, there was honestly so much energy that I had to throw into doing this, into like actually approaching, into putting in the effort to talk to a girl. It was this huge mountain, this huge hurdle that destroyed my willpower, that absolutely destroyed me when it came down to it. It was like a life-changing event every time I had to approach. And not even just that, if I had to go to work, working a part-time job was also, again, one of the most stressful, energy-reducing things I had to do. Like going to work part-time would absolutely wipe me out. Approaching a girl, I can only do probably once to twice a week. And then I kept building upon it, and now I can work effortlessly, 80 to 100 hours a week. And this was not an easy thing for me. This was a very tough process to get me to this point. And there's multiple things that allowed me to pull this up and get the energy to do this. And not even just get the energy, to reduce drag upon myself, to allow me to work for longer hours. Even if I lack maybe the willpower of another person, I have so little drag that ultimately like I can like just coast. And because I can coast, it makes it easier for me to get a lot more work done with a little bit less willpower. And in this video today, I'm gonna teach you guys just how to do that, how to get rid of the drag, how to build motivation, how to have more energy. So I'm gonna teach you the 9 steps that allow you to do this, to be more energetic. The ones that I learned are the most valuable to getting myself into that that workaholic type mindset. With that being said, let's get into the video.
Yeah, I confess, Father, I confess.
Now, I've always been driven to work really hard. I've always wanted to be one of these guys that would make people that love me proud of me. That was my number one goal in all this. I always felt like from a place of lack. And I knew that if I could work hard, if I could build a business, if I could create a following, if I could make a lot of money, if I could get girls into me, if I can make friends, that ultimately I would find, the happiness, maybe that like self-acceptance. Now, something that really helped was my ever-increasing energy. And I'll say this, even to this day, I'm still building energy. I'm still learning how to work harder and harder. It's a continually building, it's a skill set in among itself. Among a lot of different things, interpersonal intelligence, skills with women, maybe health, a lot of these things, they're all their own little versions of mastery. And I always find myself kind of, finding ways to lean to my bleeding edge a little bit better than I did last year. Now with this, we're gonna get into 12 main things that I found that allow me to work effortlessly and for hours upon hours every fucking day. Now, first things first, we're gonna talk about diets. Now, there's one key ingredient in every good diet, and nobody will ever say this is not the case. Greens, eating green food, vegetables, eating kale, eating things that have a lot of, source energy. Eating these things are very good for you. There's no dietitian out there that will say that vegetables are bad for you. Now, vegetables give you a lot of energy and a lot of clean energy. This is really important when it comes down to this. Now, you can either do what I used to do, which was take algae, spirulina algae, pour into water, guzzle that stuff, maybe eat vegetables. I have a guy that prepares my meals so I can eat more vegetables in the day. This is a really good first step to get this ball rolling. Now, along with this too, you want to make sure you're eating less junk food. Now, junk food is a very big killer of energy. Now, if anybody is really into working out, and let's say you eat a candy bar the day before you go and work out, what do you find? You find that you can't lift as many reps as you could, or maybe as much weight as you could previously. It's really funny how energy like sugar can just it gives you like a quick burst, but then burns that energy off where you could have used that in somewhere else. Now, junk food creates this it makes this dirty kind of energy where it's just woo, woo, and it's like this is like crash. I would say ultimately, if you want more of a consistent burn, eat less junk food. Now, the next one is drink a lot of water. Now, this is classic with people. Now it's kind of subtle too. You don't even think about this. If you're somebody that has a lot of headaches, that gets chronically fatigued, try drinking water. Try drinking 100 ounces of water a day. Now this is a big factor in keeping your cognitive functions rolling. Now your brain is a majority water. If you're lacking this, how do you think that you're going to handle this? If this thing that runs you, that is ultimately you, if it doesn't have any water, what's going to happen? How are your cognitive functions going to be working if it's dry? It's not. You got to consume water. Like a lot of you guys who watch me from the other channel, Julian Blanc guzzles a gallon of water a day. Me, I start off with maybe 3 bottles. I just down them really fast. Then I'll get water with Emergency. If you guys know that Orange Emergency, it helps me out with like a lot of cold and flu symptoms, keeps me healthy so I don't get sick, so I can continually do this. With you guys, start looking at stuff like this as well. Now, next one is sleep. Now, a lot of you guys are, this is something that nobody really talks about that much, but you do need a lot of sleep, and not necessarily even a lot of sleep, but consistent sleep. Now, there's a lot of you guys who are like, oh, I have to wake up early in the morning and then I don't have a lot of energy for the rest of the day. Try going to sleep earlier. If you have a consistent schedule where you have a time that you consistently wake up, Wake up earlier. Make sure you're going to sleep at an early enough time to where when you wake up, you're gonna have plenty of sleep, and know how much sleep you need. Now, at times like me, I'll have like these long runner gunner kind of like days where I have to do boot camp, then I have to shoot a video, then I have to do some consultation calls. And then at the end of the weekend, I'm burnt out. So I need to sleep a lot longer than would have otherwise, because I had this entire weekend where I'm working through the nights, waking up, maybe getting 4 hours of sleep, then I have to go and work this, and I have to do that. Now I have to catch up on the next day. Now, if you guys don't have your sleep in place, it's a lot harder to manage your emotions. You get crankier a lot easier, which we'll get into actually the whole negative emotions here in a little bit in the end of the video. But ultimately, negative emotions are bad overall for your energy, and sleeping a lot less, it doesn't help you out. A lot of these guys, like there are guys who are genetically predestined to sleep less. If you're one of these people that are these genetic freaks that are blessed with this, good job. I have friends just like this, and it's a blessing. No lie. But me personally, I have to sleep 7.5 hours on average every night. Now with me, I make sure I go to sleep early enough so that I can wake up with enough energy. You guys need to be doing the same thing. Try to make it as consistent as possible. And 2, black out your rooms. This is something that a lot of guys are doing. When you black out your rooms, you can have a lot more consistent sleep. If you're waking up all throughout the night, how are you supposed to get a good night's sleep? Black out your room, like take some melatonin before you go to sleep, drink some water so that you don't wake up dehydrated, black out your room, make sure that there's no light showing whatsoever. Now, if you guys are doing this, get some eye masks. It makes it a lot easier for you to have more consistent sleep. Now, like I said, emotions matter. Now, a lot of people are like trying to spur themselves with negative emotions, with stress, anger. You guys are trying to push yourself with anxiety, jealousy. These emotions drain you. They drain your natural energy. When you're running all these negative programs in your head, you're running all these negative programs that are unhelpful. You burn a lot of energy. By feeling anxiety, fear, things like this, naturally, if you guys look this up, it burns willpower. Any book you read about willpower generally say that negative emotions burn this naturally. Now, what do you want to do? You want to start cleaning them up, making them more positive. How many people do you know that are wealthy, that are negative all the time? I don't know too many, honestly. At least guys that have any longevity in this. If you're pushing yourself with like anger and stress, you'll start noticing it in their forehead first. Like me, like I'm pretty young and I already started getting forehead wrinkles. I pushed myself like this for too long and I was gonna crash if I didn't switch this up. A lot of you guys need to start looking at the way you're treating yourselves. I had my intern coming over here and I was crashing hella hard. Like my first intern I ever had move in with me. And I was crashing extremely hard and he was asking me a lot of days. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I just want to like kill this. I want to do work so hard. And I was burning myself to death. Like it was destroying me, going out like so much and working so hard and trying to push myself like this. And it finally just came down to it where the wheels were falling off the car. The engine was getting clogged. It was because I was pushing myself in this negative way. And it's not the way you want to push yourself. You want to be drawn to do it. You want to push yourself with more positive emotions like excitement, happiness, like drawn. That's the way that you want to push yourself in this, not with negative emotions. All right, now the next one, burn the boats. Burn the boats. Now, when you have other options, how much do you really want to work? Not that much. Now, if you have no other option, but you have to work or you're fucked, how easy is it for you to work? Now, for me, I've always been drawn to like pickup and stuff like that, and I've always wanted to learn more about this. Now, one day, I'm out on the strip and I'm selling club crawls, and I'm trying to make my money. I just had a really bad breakup, and I'm trying to figure out where am I gonna live? And I need money bad. So in that day, I made $1,000. I made $1,000 in a day. And it made it a lot easier for me to relax. I had my boats burned and I had no choice but to make money. And I found the energy to get that money. If you have no options, you will find the ways to do it. Make it to where in your situation in life, you have no other options but to go take the course that you know you need to take. Now, the next one is believe. Believe that you're a person of energy and motivation. Now, this takes small victory after small victory. Now, you guys are gonna have like these little decisions in the day. Oh, I'm gonna make my bed, or I need to go work out, or I need to go approach women, or maybe I need to go build my habits. Now, every day you do this, and you don't, every day you do this and you build upon this, you build confidence. And you become more confident and your ego starts being like, maybe I am the person of motivation. Maybe I am that kind of person that can do more things with my life. Maybe I can make a lot of money. Maybe I can get that girl. Maybe I can be motivated to take a life that other people are afraid to. Now, in the same way, you can also take it the other direction. Let's say that you're not taking action on things you know you need to take. Now you're proving yourself to the opposite. Now, when you guys make yourself a goal, make sure you fucking do it, because if you don't, your ego is gonna be like, I'm not a person of motivation, I'm not a person of energy. But if you do it, it's gonna build and build and build. Make sure you don't ever lie to yourself. Now, the next one is workout. Now, when you're in a healthy body, when you're working out and you're at the gym, it's a lot easier to cut the weight. It's a lot easier to have a lot of energy, because if your body is not working itself, you're not moving your body a lot, you're not releasing the endorphins when you go out and hit the gym. Your body's gonna be a lot weaker. It's gonna be a lot dirtier. It's not gonna have like that natural oomph. Like if you aren't putting good oil into your car, you're not oiling your car every so often, your car's gonna start kind of losing that natural gusto. It's gonna lose that energy. You need to like constantly be gassing it. You need to start like kind of working on yourself. Now, if you are, it's gonna be a lot easier to work a lot of hours. Now, the next one is baby chunk it. Now, this one's more a way of like kind of getting rid of drag. Now, a lot of you guys, when you go to pick up women, what do? You guys are not just thinking about the fact of approaching, you're thinking about approaching, attracting her, getting her to the next venue, making out with her, getting her to go home with you. Now, when you're doing and you're thinking about all these things, how tough is it just to take that first step of approaching? It's almost goddamn near impossible because there's no way that you can like mentally like build this entire fucking like this entire thing and do this all to no fault. Like you have a hard enough time even doing the first thing, but now you're thinking about doing all this. How tough is it to do? When I'm doing this camera thing, like what's the first thing I focus on? Getting my camera set up. That's all I focus on. Then once it's all set up, then I start going over my notes. Then once my notes are done, once I've made my notes and I figured out what the video is gonna be, then I stand here and I look at the camera. Like I take it step by step by step. Now, because I'm not looking at the entire thing, which would ultimately scare me from doing it in the first place, would burn willpower, I look at it and I baby chunk it. In the same way, you guys need to baby chunk it and look at like the thing that's just in front of you right there. Then once you get out of the way, then you look at the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. You build momentum. That's the way you do this. Now, the next one is you build habits like you build bricks in a house. Now, a lot of you guys are trying to like stack on all this different stuff all at the same time. I'm gonna learn 5 different habits that I learned from Denton. I'm gonna learn 5 different habits that I learned from Denton. I'm gonna learn these 5 different things, and from learning these 5 different things, I'm gonna be massively more results oriented. But the problem is when you're trying to build 5 habits at the same time, you don't have the fucking willpower, the mental energy to do this, or even the focus. Now, you guys have to focus on building 1 to 2 habits at a time. If you're trying to build more than this, you're not gonna have the fortitude to do it. It's hard enough just building 1 habit. Do that one thing. Do the 1 habit at a time, because this is building bricks in a palace. If you're building bricks in a palace, what happens? Eventually, you have a moat, you have a wall, you have a like parapet. You need these things. You need to build it 1 at a time, and you can't do it all at once. It's 1 block at a time. And that's how you build habits, which takes me to my next point. You wanna be pulled towards what you do. Now, everything in my life is something that I love doing. I love writing, I love making content, I love game, I love learning seduction, making myself more charismatic, I love mastery. So when I go out a lot to go and approach women, when I go out to like make myself more charismatic, to make myself more of an impactful speaker on the camera, like if you guys look back at my videos, I constantly improving. And it's not because I'm pushing myself. It's not because this is some kind of anger, kind of like, which there is a little bit of that, like not to lie, but I can still expunge it and pull it up a little bit more myself. I still do have that chip on my shoulder and I'm working to get rid of it every day. But that honestly is slowing me down a little bit, and I know this intuitively. But I'll say this. The more I find excitement and love in everything I do, the more that I align with my natural goals and my natural lock-ins, the easier this world gets. Like this is so effortless for me to do this, to go out and run a boot camp, to run and do one of these videos, to talk to you guys about something I love talking about. Like I love mastering. I love mastering like energy, like I'm doing right now. Like how energetic am I on camera right now? How alive do I look? How alive do I look in the eyes? I look really fucking alive. And it's because I love doing this. It's not because it's something that I have to push myself to do. I aligned with my goals and it made everything tenfold easier. All right, guys, with that being said, peace out.
Focused on me, I got a family to feed, I got a goal to achieve, I got a lot on my plate and none of it going to waste. Think about me, I'm doing fine, mama be calling, I don't got the time. What does that mean? Maybe I'm lost, maybe the journey must come with a cost. Nothing is free, that's what I'm told. All of this missing, I've been getting old. Hope it's all worth it, nothing for certain. Maybe I'll see, but right now I don't know. Yeah, the